only battling a pandemic, but also COVID-19 has forced us to face a mental health crisis across the country as people deal with job uncertainty and isolation. Numbers from Mental Health America show more than 60% of an increase here in depression screenings, especially among young adults. Leah Shields live with information about a relatively new treatment that could help. Leah.
Good morning. Well, medication is always an option for those with depression. But when that doesn't work, what do? Well, there's this treatment here at Baptist Health Jacksonville. It's a brain stimulation treatment. No pain involved. The doctor actually describes it as a tapping feeling. Patients feel like someone's doing this during the treatment, but really it's just that sensation that's happening during this treatment. Transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS therapy, is non-invasive. Doctors use a pulsed magnetic field to stimulate the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that regulates mood. Baptist Health psychiatrist Dr. Sharik Rafai says the therapy activates that part of your brain. Rafai says this treatment is for people with severe depression, major depressive disorder, and people who have tried medication but without success.
Their quality of life is affected and they're not really enjoying living and they're just kind of surviving. So a lot of times it's like they're looking for hope and they're looking for somebody to help them with a debilitating illness that they can't really do anything about. And they're a lot of times have tried multiple things. Nothing has worked.
Dr. Rafai says this is a treatment, not a cure, and it can be quite pricey, but he says many insurances do cover it. Now, whenever we're talking about mental health, I do want to take a moment and just let you know you are not alone. There are so many people struggling right now. There is a number you can call 24/7. Someone will answer your call, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number, 1-800-273-8255. Again, you are not alone. In San Marco, Leah Shields, First Coast News on your side.